Hello and welcome to video number 39. This is me learning how to use the AKAI MPC Live III and passing on to you all my tips and tricks as I do so. Today's video is going to be firstly about the track mute. So where is that? Okay, you can find it in a couple of places. Up here, second row, far right. If I press that button, it takes me to the track mute page, or you can find it in the menu. Now normally it's in the main body of the menu, but I've moved it over here to the sidebar. Press the track mute button and there we are. So what is this for? Well, it's for muting tracks in a sequence, and you can either mute single tracks or groups of tracks, and like I say, I put it in my sidebar because it's something I think I'm going to use a lot. I've gone to the first track here. I'm just going to solo this. Let's go back to track mute. Now you can see this track is soloed. It's got a blue box there with the S in it. So if I press play start, we only hear that track. And you can see that that track is soloed. So if I clear solos, all those mutes have gone out. So the way it works, if I just go back to that solo, so the way it works is this track is soloed and all the other tracks are muted. You see these kind of orangey brown M's, that shows that all those tracks are muted because this one is soloed. So we'll clear solos, or there's only one, and now the whole track plays. Just going to take a little bit of top off that because it's quite choppy. I'll show you how to do that. Right, so it's the channel strip. It's just a little bit choppy. I'm going to bring the gain down on this. It's a bit better. Remember, double tap on the stop to kill the audio completely. Let's come back to our track mute page. So there are two tabs you can view in this mode: track mute and track group. Track group is for setting up groups of muting. We'll do that in a moment. I normally have this set to track mute. I've only got one sequence at the moment, which is called first, so that's the one at the top. If you put a red box around that, you can move to other sequences. They're all unused at the moment, as you can see. Now there are two buttons at the top here. One's audio and one is event. I'll come back to this a little bit later, but we'll keep that on audio at the moment. Under this cog menu here, there's quite a few things. If you have the solo behavior on multi down here, that means you can solo multiple tracks. If you have it on single, you can only solo one track at a time, which may be what you want, but I tend to have it on multi. We won't worry about these for the moment. So let's just run the track, and we will simply press these tabs here, or I can press these pads here, you see, and they're lighting up as muted. So let's run the project and I'll mute a few of the tracks. Of course, you can press here as well. Very, very simple. And you notice you get this kind of diagram of what's muted over here, which is quite handy. Anything that isn't muted doesn't have that orange filled in square. Unused tracks are in grey, and this is bank A. If I were to go to bank B, there's nothing there. I haven't used any of the tracks further than 16. Let's just unmute all those tracks. So if I mute just the main drums, you've got that yellow border. All the other tracks have got their original colours. You can change that in the preferences. I like to leave it like that, keeping the original colours on the tracks. Now, audio mutes are indicated by a waveform. So if you look on these bottom four here, that's a waveform mute. And if I go to event and mute, I've also got an event mute, which is a MIDI symbol as well. This is an event mute, this MIDI icon here, and an event mute will silence any new MIDI events, but will allow anything currently playing to carry on normally. In my experience, I found that if tracks aren't soloed, then just basic audio mutes work fine, these ones here. Right, so nothing is muted, nothing is soloed. So let's come back to the main track, solo that. Now we'll come back to the track mutes. So just got this track playing. Now at the moment I've got the pads muting the tracks. Like that. And you can see it says here pads mute. If I change this to pads solo, remember I set it so I could have multiple solos. So now the pads are soloing the tracks and they come up blue over here, blue over here. I can unsolo them here or over here, or clear all solos there. So that's pretty good, isn't it? So this is the track mute page. Now we can assign several tracks to one group. How do we do that? There's a couple of ways. I'll show you the easiest way. Let's press the track group tab down here. You've got 16 groups here that you can assign. So if I want to assign these 4 drum tracks, see they're all off at the moment, I'll go to this one, press 1, this one, press 1, this one, press 1, this one, press 1. Now these 4 here are all assigned to group 1. So that means that if I press any one of these when the track is running, all 4 will be muted. Now you have to go back to track mute to do this. I'm in pads mute mode. Now watch what happens. Pressing any of these mutes all 4. Same here. Unmuted, muted. You've still got your single mutes here, but if I press any one of these, all 4 of those are unmuted. There's another way of assigning the groups. Let's just put all these to off for the moment. I don't know why you would want to use this, but you can use the Q link. I'm going to hold Q link down. It's on the screen, that's fine. And you notice here, track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4. So I'm on the first track here. If I rotate this top encoder, you can see how it chooses the different groups. So if I wanted to put this on group 1, bring that back there, press this one. This second encoder is for that pad. This is for the next one. And this one. So I've now achieved the same thing but with the encoders. To get to the next 4 pads, I have to move this along one. So now this will put that in a different group. Piano's in group 2. Now, when I press any of these 4 tabs here, it will mute all 4 of these. If I press any of these 3, which are all in group 2, it will mute those. Let's mute all the drums, all the keyboards. Press again and it unmutes them. Do it over here, all the pianos, all the drums. Get rid of that uni square. You've still got your singles. So unmute that single uni square and then all of the electric pianos, all the drums. So it's very convenient, isn't it, for quick muting of either single tracks or of course you can mute whole groups of tracks. Okay, so now I've set the 3 pianos to group 2 and the 4 drums to group 1. Come back to track mute. Press play start. Press any one of these 4 to mute the drums, any one of these 3 to mute the 3 pianos. and I can still mute singles here or here. Now if I go to pads solo, I can still solo. If I put this automation on right, any muting I do will be recorded. Let's just run the track and do some muting. So if I now play this from the beginning, it will play back all that automation that I wrote. Now, of course, if you want to undo the automation, that's very easy to do. You just hold erase, go to automation, all, do it, and now all that I wrote has gone. So this is what we call track mute, but there's also pad mute. Now if I go to the menu, pad mute is here, press that. This is doing it on a more granular level on a drum track. So this is our first track, the main drum beat, and you can see these are the various pads over here that we play. Now it's set to mute at the moment because we're in this pad mute, and it's the same idea. So I've soloed this track so we're only hearing the drum kit. We'll come back to pad mute. So now if I press any of these pads, it will mute that drum from the drum kit. No kick drum, no snare. Put the snare back in, no hi-hat. Or I could solo, pad solo. Just the snare, turn that off, or I could solo both of those, clear back, they're both cleared. So this is pad by pad rather than track by track. So same thing, you could make a pad group here. Now I haven't got very much on this drum track, but I suppose I could put this one in group 1 and this one in group 1, and now I'll come back to this. Put this on mute. So if I press this, both those are muted, and then either one of these will unmute it. So you can mute single pads or whole groups of pads. And again here, of course, you can use this here, so I could put this kick drum in any one of these 16 groups. Don't forget you've got a pad mute button up here. At the moment we've set this to track mute up here. If I hold set and press button 12, that's pad mute up here. You can see these two lights are up because these two pads are muted. So if I press either of those, that turns them out. Let's go to the group and just get those out of that group. Turn that one to off, turn that one to off. So now we've got 3 separate mutes. Come back to pad mute, play the track, and up here I can mute separate pads. So you can do it up here on the buttons, you can do it on the pads, you can do it on the screen. There's so many ways you can do the same thing. And of course you've got this lovely graphic over here that shows you what's been muted or soloed. So I've got 2 tracks muted and 1 soloed. Now notice with the pads set to solo, the buttons up here operate as solos. See? They're no longer working as mutes, they're working as solos. If I put this on pads mute, then these mute. See? If I put this on pads solo, these buttons up here with the pad mute enabled, these are now solo buttons. That's pretty handy, isn't it? And of course, if you want to clear any solos, go there. So anyway, I hope you found that useful today. If you did, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. If you'd like to give me a bit of a helping hand here with all the work I do on YouTube, please give me a small donation. You can do that here on YouTube, or you can do that via my website, which is www.daddylonglegs.com. Thank you very much for watching this video, and you'll hear from me very soon. Bye for now.